it's just dominated 2025.
If you make a mistake with this list, it's not really the end of the world. It's got very few weak scenarios.
Surely there's some kind of nerf coming.
It's the one list which has survived from being good at the beginning of the new edition and is still podiuming, if not more regularly, at the end.
Oh.
Sam, you're literally Frodo right now.
He's the hero.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gollum's Gamers and to MESBG Monthly, which is a series where myself and Ali, who joins me today for the Spotify listeners, aim to keep you all updated on all things MESBG from the previous and upcoming month. Now, before we get underway here in our first video of 2026, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who tuned into the GBHL finale live streams a couple of weeks ago. The stream turned out really well in the end, I think, despite my illness that had me feeling a little bit sorry for myself over the weekend. So we made it through though, and I hope everyone enjoyed the games. They're all available to watch on the channel. If you could put up with me coughing constantly throughout like 22 hours of live stream footage or something, they are there for you to go back and watch. But as always though, you can find us on Instagram and Spotify by following the links in the description down below, and also please consider subscribing to us here on YouTube if you enjoy everything that we do here on the channel. Okay, so kicking things off with the first GBHL 100 from December, we have He Eats It by The Block, which I was in attendance at, along with Ash and Sam, and James was there as well, I believe. Was Vince there? I don't think so. But in first place, we have Jakob Krochmal with the Legions of Mordor, the first GBHL 100 podium and win, in fact, for the Legions of Mordor, which we shall come on to in a moment. Then in second place, we had Ryan Blinko with his Depths of Moria list. No surprise there. Barrog Watcher, yet again on the 100 podium spot in second place. And then in third, Mr. Ashley Walker, our very own, with the third place. Now, we shall come on to the team rankings and all that stuff in news from the mark a little bit later on, but we were attending this event in mind where we needed to try and podium or ideally come first or second, and Ash coming in third here. So just missing out the third place was unfortunately not enough to sort of increase our team score by any amount, but obviously still really good that he came out with the third place there for Army of the Great Eye. I don't know if that's the first 100 podium for Army of the Great Eye. I don't think from previous
I don't think
months.
so. I think there's been others.
You think there was another one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there has. It's one that's been hanging around at least and doing well at 90s.
Yeah, because there's also different, obviously, variations and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so the third place there for Mr. Walker. So I guess for the Spotify listeners, first of all, Jakob's Legions of Mordor list, a very unusual list here for sure. So it's a 42 model list. I think I measured it's a 1,000 point tournament. It's led by the Dark Marshal on horse. He has Guritz, a Mummock with tusk weapons and repelling lines, and a great beast of Gorgoroth. So double war beast in there. He's got a 12 long line of Black Nums and Morannons, and then 11 Harad bows on top of the Mummock with a Harad Raider as well. So 42 models, but obviously he's got a caster in there, Guritz for the March, and the Maelstrom sort of rule as well with the Great Beasts, obviously super important, and the 2 War Beasts. So Ali, your thoughts from this one? Very interesting here from Jakob.
I mean, half of the list is almost like, are we in last edition with the Black Numenorean front rider and
then the other half.
And then the other half is a Mimic. And having recently played a Mimic against Dave Farmer on the stream, go check it out. Yes, hashtag plugging. Mimics, I mean, everyone always knows Mimics are very much like that swingy. Like they can either just win a game or lose a game on their own. But one thing that I kind of haven't really thought about before is how the repelling lines on the Mimic can be used really effectively by a smart player.
Now, I thought that this was a new edition thing, maybe because I just didn't play a Mummock many times last edition, but I think it was, I asked someone and they said it was in last edition.
They had repelling lines last edition.
So, So it's not like a new thing, it's just something that maybe just wasn't seen.
Yeah, I mean, you just
very
didn't
much.
see mimics that much.
No,
Yeah, like up
yeah. So
until December, you didn't really see mimics that much
no,
in
yeah,
the UK. But it's
yeah,
probably because it's also 1,000 points, the
yeah.
last two events that we had. But yeah, no. So it's actually you got quite a lot of tricks in the way that you can protect the mimic by dropping
Yep.
people down to peel
Into
people
gaps. Yeah,
off and stuff like that. And if you don't have the tools either to tie those models up or get rid of them, it can actually really maximize the mimic's ability to
mm,
just trample on through.
yeah.
So yeah,
Obviously, spoiler alert: in your game, it unfortunately did not, which is a shame.
well, or fortunately, depending. But but yeah, no. So mimics really actually, and because of where magic is harder to deal with in mimic this edition because there's not
Yep.
compels and transfixes and all that
Yeah.
in quite the same way.
No.
Uh, it's actually a lot harder to deal with the mimic for a lot of armies than it used to be.
Yeah.
But it is still a lot of eggs in one basket because
Yeah.
beyond that, your main battle line is solid, but not spectacular.
Well,
Especially,
it's just what I was coming on to. Sorry,
yeah,
is that the Great Beast? Obviously, it's all eggs in one basket of Mammoth, but you also do have Great Beast
yeah,
as well. So you are,
yeah. So
you know,
the Great Beast, I think, I imagine this is what Yakim's thought is. It's usually if you can deal with the mimic, but then the Great Beast you can't deal with
at the
simultaneously.
same time,
Like
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
there going, one of them will go off, and the Great Beasts are pretty like nice this edition actually because
Yeah.
they get the extra impact hit now, don't they?
That's
So it's
just what I was
free.
trying to check on. I thought it
Yeah.
was like
It-
improved a fair amount. What book is it in? It's not in the films, is it? So why the fuck is it in the Armies of Middle Earth book? Oh,
yeah.
is it Legacied? Is it Legacied?
Uh, I can't remember now. It feels like a
was.
legacy model.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So they basically went from 2 strength 6 impact hits to 3 strength 6 impact hits,
Ah, that was
which
it. Yeah.
increases its reliability so much.
A lot, yeah. And I think like it didn't go up in points at all, or it went up slightly, but I don't
It's
think it made it like
175.
175 now. Yeah,
So it may have been 100.
It's in Legacy.
It might have been
I thought I
150.
remember that it didn't go up much at all, which
Yeah.
you know, it got the buff as well.
Mm. But yeah, no. But yeah, so you can deal with the mimic. You can't necessarily deal with the great beast.
Yeah. It went up
Generally,
25 points. Sorry, which is quite a lot.
generally the beasts as well now are a lot easier to use with terrain because if you hit terrain, you don't take the impact.
Yes, the
But
hits.
I say the impact hits the damage in the same way.
Yeah. And it still has all the bows on top.
Yeah,
so
the list
obviously
actually has a lot of shooting.
a lot of shooting. Oh yeah, does it say out there at the top? Oh, it only says 12 bows because it's not counting the ones on the
Yeah,
Great
because
Beast,
the
so-
Great Beast War counts as one.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you've got a reasonable amount of shooting. Lots of dominance. So the Great Beast are dominant 6, the War Mimic's dominant
Yeah.
10, I think. I can't remember actually, to be honest.
And he's got like, just having the one caster there for if you play something like Depths is super, super important. Like just having that transfix is super, super good. And is his casting, it's not super bad, is it? I think it's like casting.
Dark Marshal he tends to be like, so he's got all of command, so you don't need the Shaman. There's one thing to note.
Yeah.
Compel is 3+, Transfix is 3+, Drain Courage 4, Black Dart 5, and Still Fear 6.
Yeah.
And he's Fight 6 as well. So I'd say the one weakness of the list is you don't have any real anti-hero options.
No.
You can delay with like a bit of transfixing,
It's a
and
casting
you can
element,
hope, and you can hope the mimic runs it over.
Run them over. Yeah.
But at some point, you're possibly going to just run out of might to guarantee getting those charges, and so if you can't deal with a big threat early, you may struggle.
Yeah, I'm actually just checking what he played. Also, the other thing I've just realised, it doesn't have a banner. Can it not take a banner?
The mimic
Morans
counts
could
as
surely take.
The mimic counts as a banner reroll.
But not for VPs, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
But I mean, I've said this before. I don't think that most scenarios which have banner VPs, it will not actually decide whether you win or lose.
Yeah.
It can be a tiebreaker and a draw kind of situation, or it would just put you to a bigger win.
So just checking here what he played. So he played Khazad-dûm game 1, Usurpers of Edoras game 2. He played Ryan, who came second with the Depths in game 3. White Hand hosted the Witch King. He played Sam and Loth. So what did he go in the end? Did he go? He went 5-1. What did he lose to? He lost to White Hand 2-1 in retrieval. So there you go.
Yeah. Which also probably actually shows one of the other slight downsides is you haven't got amazing mobility. Like you're kind of quick, but you don't have like that cav to just go grab objectives.
Places. Yeah.
But anyway, it's quite an interesting list. I don't think it would work at lower points.
No.
Legions of Mordor army bonus is a bit naff. It's just reroll once to wound. I'm presuming he's gone for it just so he can take the Mimic and the Great Beast.
And the Grey Beast. And I think this this Legions of Mordor list, and as we'll come on to in Army of the Great Eye, really those are lists which still have a lot of probably combinations of things though that people haven't sort of figured out yet. Exactly. This being one of them, right? Like you probably wouldn't have thought that this would win a GBHL 100 before this weekend, but there you go, in the right hand. So very well done to Jakob indeed. Now we'll move on to second place. As I just mentioned, Jakob did play Ryan in game 3, I think it was for them, with the Depths of Moria Balrog Watcher. Did we have a 1,000 point? I think we had Berticon. Nobody wasn't at Berticon. I think there was another 1,000 point 100 recently that was Balrog Watcher as well. Maybe I'm just thinking about the finale preview, and we spoke about it there, which you went
may have been the Irish event, because I think was that 1,000 points this year?
Yeah, was that yes, but was that in November? Maybe it was the month before or something. But yeah, we've spoken about it loads. Balrog Watcher, it's super good. Dave Farmer has called it the best list in the game at 1,000 points. He might not be wrong. It seems to just podium whenever it's taken, even not at 1,000 points, but the combination with the Balrog Watcher is just very oppressive.
Yeah. It is two big threats. It's an army which, unless if you can kill the Balrog, can't be broken, which it just makes it incredibly hard to deal with because those goblins aren't running away. They've got a banner everywhere, and even at 1,000 points, dealing with the Balrog it's a threat.
You need to take things to deal with it.
Yeah, and you're always, from my point of view, you're nearly always putting yourself in what feels like a 50-50 in terms of does he roll a 6?
Yeah, do you kill it?
Do I kill it in that turn he doesn't?
Yeah.
Or do I just...
And like the chances of one banging it is still not super high, depending on what you have. Anyway, we shall not go too far into this because we may be coming back. We'll move on to Ash's Army of the Great Eye. I'm just pulling up his list here. Yes, which was Witch King Fellbeast with the Morgul Blade, the Dark Marshal on horse, Razgoosh and Gorbag. So a similar list to what he ran at Berticon. I also ran a list similar to this. I have Black Nums though, but he's just got pure orc spam. So Moran frontline with Mordor orcs. He's got 2 bats in there, a spider, and a drum as well. So everything's super, super quick. 48 models. So kind of can be a little bit squishy in terms of like the troops that you've got, because obviously the orcs with spear on the back line are all D4. So it's not the highest defense, but that Moran front line you're just really hoping can, hold up with the D6 long enough to sort of, do what you want. Obviously, the Witch King on Fellbeast, a huge sort of linchpin where you can make loads of plays, as Ash is very accustomed to doing with his magic and things. So I'm sure there were some things he pulled off with that for sure. But what are your thoughts on that?
So I think I first encountered a variation of this list at points against Adam Bird. Sort of at 19 Sheffield a few months ago. And it's really one of these combo lists which... on paper, when you first see it, you're like, oh, okay, sort of, you kind of get it. But what it does really well into is actually the current meta often. So we're just talking about the Balrog and stuff like that. This list has the ability to half the Balrogs fight reliably because the Dark Marshal can just be auto-passing courage those bats.
There's some bats,
you can then just charge in, and then you can mob and kill the Balrog. Your
troops kill it with the Witch King with the Morgul Blade.
The Morgul Blade. Yeah, you've got
strength.
The orcs are better than goblins, so like they'll survive because they're D6, the front rank, and they can kill being strength 4 and slightly higher fight value most of the time. And then you've got just solid. It's very much, I would say, the Witch King Sully of the new edition is kind of how it feels in that. You've got a few tricks in the Bat Swarms and the Ring Wraiths. Razgush is nice. Just he's an orc that doesn't really die and has just got nice stat lines.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it just grinds out really nicely. Where it does tend to come undone, and this is my own personal experience having used dwarves against it, is when there's a slightly more elite troop army and the bat swarms don't really have much to do, because it's sort of it can deal with individual scary models and heroes, but it will struggle more to deal with elite troop lists. So your
you are
elves and your
paying like
dwarves.
quite a lot of points for those bats. 70 points for 2 bats, and if the scenario, there's not much use for them, it's like that is quite a big sort of difference to your opponent's list potentially, where like you say your generic troops just might not cut the mustard against what you're facing.
Yeah, it's at the point that just having a front rank of Rannons or Black Norns or whoever it is can't outlast your front line of elves or whatever it may be.
Loth maybe or something like that. Yeah, two-handing with Celeborn or something. Yeah, so but no, Ashley Walker back with the Witch King. Glad to see it back on the podium spot. It was not enough, unfortunately, but we shall come on to that in just a moment. But we shall move on to looking at the GBHL League finale. Obviously, go check out the live streams if you do want to see 6 fantastic games. We streamed 5 games, over the weekend. Yes, they are up in the live section on the channel. But the reason why we left the depths of Moria there a moment ago, because it's back at the finale. In first place, Tom McConnell. Congratulations to Tom winning the first GBHL 100 for Team Pigmar. I think the first podium for Pigmar as well. We had some support in the chat, in the live stream chat, that was very, very pleased indeed with the performance there. So obviously very well done to Tom. I actually played him at the He Sit By The Block event in my last game, using this list as well. So it was somewhat of like a practice event for some players that were going to both. So again, it's a Barrag Watcher list, 1,000 points. But in second place, we have John Partridge from Any Heroics, also using the Balrog Watcher combination, first and second place, the Depths of Moria, to close out the first year of the new edition. I mean, it's sort of played out the way that we'd have expected it to, right? It's done so well throughout the year, and then to close it out, it has the first and second place spot. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, and then in third place, we have Finley standing fourth with the Battle of 5 Armies. So, Ali, what do you think? Does it need a nerf? What's coming in the FAQ? Where do you stand on the Depths of Moria that is running over the SBG scene at the moment?
It obviously needs some form of nerf. It's the one list which has survived from being good at the beginning of like the new edition, and is still podiuming, if not more regularly, at the end. Because White Hand was doing very well at the start, and like Dale would be. But then when we got the new scenarios and then the new army list, they're still good lists. But they sort of their regularity fell off.
How much they podiumed,
Whereas Depths of anything has just gotten better and better. It's got very few weak scenarios. I mean, this is no disservice to any players who use it, but it is you can pick up and learn to play it quite quickly and easy. It's not a technical list that you sometimes get with some top lists. It's just.
I guess like just on that point, last edition, something like Witch King Sully, for example, I would argue that something like that had a little bit more nuance compared to, say, like Dragon Emperor last edition, because Dragon Emperor, you had a D6 pike block, you're just going to move it up and then roll dice. But at least with the casting and things, like, you had to make the right decisions, and like there were plays that you could make, and you had to still execute those like properly and at the right times. Compared to something like Emperor or this maybe, where you've just got a huge horde of goblins. Like, obviously, there's you don't want the Balrog to get like trapped and bogged down in certain areas of the board and stuff. But like when he moves 8 inches and he has the free combat, like it's a lot more forgiving.
It's one of those ones where if you make a mistake with this list, it's not really the end of the world, because the Balrog can just roll a 6, or he's unlikely to die in 1. The goblins are pretty expendable, and then they all get a free reroll. So if you haven't formed your battle line particularly well, you can get away with it. I mean, better players will still make the most out of this list.
Of course.
And it's like, so I played John actually in the third game at the league finale, and he beat me 7-6. And this is credit to John, because I'm pretty sure if I played someone who used that list a little bit worse, I would have won that game.
You'd have managed to get it,
But then that's sort of me going, I played that game really well, and I still couldn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Even like sort of
Other
when I
players
know-
might not be able
Yeah.
to sort of do that quite so well. And
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
let you give me the ego booster.
the gas there, yes. But I just it's just dominated 2025. Like, will that continue into 2026? I just think surely there's some kind of nerf coming in the FAQ. I was talking to lots of people at these 2 events this year, and just I think now, because there was a Warhammer community article that went up at the last FAQ saying that they didn't make many rules changes specifically because it was too early. There wasn't enough data, but obviously now there's a year's worth of GPHL data and wider as well, and it's just like, especially here at 1,000 points, like the combination of these 2 models is just insane. Like maybe you can't take them both together, but even if you make that change, there's still the banner. And I think like there were people saying, oh, like, do you make the banner within 12 inches of the Balrog or something? But like, would that really change that much? Like, I don't think it would, personally. What do you think?
So if I was to, like, in a free world, just change this list, I would make the Balrog more killable. So I would put him down to D7.
D7.
Yeah.
See, I don't actually mind the Balrog because like he is meant to be like the scariest thing in Middle Earth.
I mean, he still would be at strength 10, and but so my lore reason for this is we see Gandalf with Glamdring wounding the Balrog, and Glamdring makes Gandalf strength 5. So if you're wounding the Balrog on 5, that seems fair. Whereas Gandalf wouldn't be able to do that really if he was needing 6s to wound. But I think that's if you want to maintain the list kind of, and that you can't break it, and it's a banner effect.
See, I think
like
that is another. The ball by banner gets obviously a huge amount of the blame, which I think is fair enough. It makes your Hive Point Goblin have 3 dice against 12 point Iron Hills Warrior or something, which is obviously really good. But the breaking VPs. In every single scenario that you play, there are usually break unbroken VPs, sometimes up to 5 VPs, and those are almost just locked in some sense for every game. And I think that is
leader wounds.
Yes, yeah. But you could plink a leader wound and like. There's
But you're only going to get 1, so it's like
you're
going to
get the 1.
Games,
yes, yeah, but the kill as well. Yeah, fair.
It could be up to 7 VPs. So,
but just having break unbroken, because like you do usually break against it, right? And just losing always. Most likely 3 or even 5 VPs in every game. Like that's a huge, differential. So
I think one way I would change it, because I do think that for me is actually a bigger issue than the board wide banner.
The break VPs, yeah, I think so.
Because the board wide banner is annoying, but
the Emperor had a huge banner, but like it was the Emperor was really, really good, but it wasn't winning hundreds like this was and podiuming at quite the same rate. I don't think.
Yeah, I would probably make the board wide. I mean, one thing I've heard, board wide banner you get if you buy the drum. So it's
yes, that's another. Yes, you pay for
then the other thing I would be tempted to do is the goblins do not take courage tests for breaking. However, the army still counts as broken for VPs at the end of the game.
VPs. Yeah, completely fine. I think if they only change one thing and it's not that drastic, I don't think there's really going to be much difference. And then would they then make a further change in 6 months' time in the August FAQ? I'm not so sure. So I don't know. I hope that they do something that is enough to bring it down a peg in line with everything else, because it's been so dominant.
And at all points levels, really. It's kind of like as soon as you get to 600 last year?
Yeah,
that like won the GP with.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even go to Balrog version. He went for the Goblin Horde version.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah, but like Ash almost podiumed Imps, where day 2 he had the Balrog with like 34 models or something. So it can.
And that's just terrible.
That's awful. And obviously any points level up from there, you can make it work really. So yeah, I think it's time. I think there needs to be something that needs to happen. We'll see in February. There'll be an emergency podcast. Hopefully there'll be something newsworthy in that for sure, in that FAQ. But so we won't talk about John's list specifically because it was very, very similar to Tom's, Barrack Watcher. But then in third place, we had Finley with a very interesting Battle of Five Armies list where he had Bayorn, Gwahir, and I can't remember which other heroes that he had, but
Didn't he
had
have Feely
Bayorn
or Keely as his leader?
As the leader, yes.
Which one was it that you went for?
Why? Because that's a hotly debated.
Yeah, I think he went for Feely because he decided heroic strength
Is
was better
Feely
than
the one
heroic
that
challenge.
is he the one that falls in Avatario?
Yes, maybe. I can't remember now.
The dark-haired archer, the black-haired archer. Feely, yes, with Leggy, of course, a Lake Town captain, Gwahir Bayon, 42 models. So he doesn't actually have that many Lake Town in there. He's only got 7 Lake Town plus the captain. So he's still got, a load of Iron Hills with a banner, Leggy, loads of Merkwood Elves. With Glaive, he has a knight in there as well, with the 2 monsters as well. So fitting those 2 in with a decent model count is pretty scary to face.
Yeah, so actually just starting out, because I have chatted to him about it, the whole point of having Feely in there, which seems like a wild choice I think for most people, and him be the leader, is one, he has 3 might, hero of valor, so he can lead the number of troops and you get more might. He does actually have heroic strike if you need it. He's only going for 5, but you can just leave him at the back of the board. As in,
that's why you take
keep
Barley
him fairly safe.
But I wonder why he wouldn't take Barley because Barley's cheaper.
He's not much cheaper.
It's
10 points cheaper, and you get an extra 2 might instead of the reroll, basically.
Yeah, because Barley's 1. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So there is quite sound logic to that. I mean, Gwahir, we've talked about to death, is obviously very good.
But you pair him with a fight 8 striking Bayorn, and it's like but neither of the might you can use from either of those 2 models to affect anything else, right? So I guess that's why it's quite important that Feely has more might.
Yeah. And because he's not going to be using it in combat related stuff usually, you can literally just use that for moves.
So he's got 8 might from the 3 other heroes to use for moves, which does still affect the monsters. So that is pretty cool.
And then just talking about Bayon, we mentioned him I think last month as well, but in a different list. But this edition, because he gets the monstrous charge in his basic profile now, he's actually very scary. He's really effective. We've talked about monsters to death, but he may not quite be a Balrog, but he is still fight 8, strength 8.
He's not that far off in terms of God. So what is he? A strength, a defense, and a attack lower, and the 2/5 value. Strength, defense, attack, and 2/5 value.
But this way, strength 8 and fight value 8 is going to deal with most things. If you really need it, you've also got heroic strike and heroic defense, even when he's in better form. Becomes dominant 5. So if you've then got Gwahir and Bayon, you've got like 2 fight, baby. You got 2 fight 8. You could kill the Balrog, and most people can't deal with you. And you've got all the
and having them being able to go in separate places as well.
You got all the tricks and stuff that monsters give you as well with hurling and barging and all of that. And so
I've just realised he's not very intelligent though.
What in
6
about
plus?
Barefoot?
It's not awful, but it's not that great. But I guess it's not very accurate. But you've got Gwahir for all of your hurling needs, so that is more than adequate.
So 2 big monsters, scary, solid line of dwarves. You're actually keeping the Lake Town model count lower, only 7 is good, because if you were getting your numbers up purely by Lake Town, you will have a soft center.
Is it that good? Yeah, exactly.
It's not the highest model count list as it is, but
having 42 while fitting in the 2 monsters, I think, is a really, really solid place to be. And it shows through the 3rd place. So very, very well done to Finley for sure. So we shall leave it there for the GBHL finale. Go and check out the live streams. The VODs are on the channel. But we shall move on to News from the Mark, the segment where we take a look at the individual and team standings from the GBHL. So first of all, just looking at the individual rankings here from last month. Obviously, it's the end of the 2025 season. This is the standings as they are. The Masters invites, everything will hinge off of these standings. So at the end of the year, the Any Heroics sandwich is still in full force, Ali, with Farmer, Jakob, and Stephen Denby, new GBHL League coordinator, as we shall come on to in the news, with Connor Morris in 4th place. I guess I may as well go through everyone here because these are the final, the top 10. John Partridge in 5th. Obviously, him and Denby were going, back and forth, trading blows, but ending up in 5th. I think he jumped up. Yes, he did jump Ali, actually, from the finale. So he beat Ali at the finale and then jumped him.
Which is the way you want it to happen. You don't want someone who hasn't beaten you to jump above you.
It's fair enough. Ali had a chance to, beat him down, but no, the Barrog Watcher, we can blame it on that. So yes, but in 6th place we have Ali. Very, very well done for the team. In 6th we have Tom McConnell, who won the finale, who has been hanging around in sort of the 10th-ish spot this year, but winning his first GBHL 100 certainly helped him move up into 7th place there for Team Pigmar for the end of the year rankings. We have Thomas Seacombe, who I think was as high as 3rd at one point, coming in at 8th, but obviously, it's really, really hard as, people start to get all of their 6 scores to kind of, maintain your position, but he did that with a podium it wasn't at the Lemon Cup, he podiumed his first 100 score recently, I can't remember which one though.
Was it Berticon?
But he got it done. Yes, I think maybe it was Berticon, yes, with AOL maybe, not sure.
Yeah, we'll say so. Tom can correct us in the comments.
We'll go with that, he's used AOL, yes. Then we have Sam in 9th, our very own Sam Grattan, so represented twice in the top 10, and then Finley, who podiumed at the finale. That score there certainly putting him up into
his 2nd GBH 100 podium of the year
this year.
I think.
I think he had one in Scotland and then one
he's the top
really
ranked Scot as well. So
So
well done to Finley on that.
So I guess any other, I don't know, I've just been through everyone. Any other takeaways from the top 10? I don't know, obviously lots of Any Heroics in there.
It meant, in terms of just, because it's the end of the season, obviously these 10 go to the Masters, or get invited to the Masters anyway.
Yes, so those 10 get invited, sure.
The top 5 got invited for Team 1 at the Nations Cup. I then also got invited as a wild card in position 6, so I'm probably not the wildest wild card that's been chosen. And then
because he's just so obvious.
Well, if you go for the top 6, it's then the same. And then I think I can't remember if Finley probably isn't because he maybe
so where
Scotland.
Would he get in from? I don't know.
But the other 3 and then some of the ones a little bit further down, if we've got a second team for the Nations Cup, will be invited to there as well.
Nice.
So that was kind of John jumping me actually got him a place in the Nations Cup Team 1, which for him is probably quite a good significant thing.
Well, he went last year, didn't he? He went Team 2?
No, he went the year before. I don't know if he went last year.
Roger. Yeah,
I can't remember.
Fair enough. So that's it. I mean, very, very well done to obviously everyone who ended up in the top 10, anyone that was just pushed out, obviously unfortunate. But that's the way that things lie at the end of the year. We shall reset next month. Ali, will the rankings even be updated? I'm going to have to... Who is the new rankings officer?
Jack Canavan is now
Jack,
the new
yes, so I shall have to... I'll be messaging him and not Denby anymore to ask about.
And Jack actually this year, for those who haven't seen it, has been producing a stat grid of the armies that have podiumed at 100s, 90s and 80s and stuff like that.
Now we may be looking at that because we're planning to do like a first edition review video sometime in January, so we might take a look at that in there. Obviously that's where we got the information for things like depths, doing super well, it's all tracked in there. So yes, okay, but I guess we shall move on to the dreaded team rankings, Ali. We have to do it, unfortunately, for anyone who just uses MESBG Monthly as their way to keep updated with things in the GBHL. I think we did talk about it last month, but that we were jumped by Any Heroics. But there were still 2 GBHL 100s left, and that there was time potentially to jump them again. So we had Vince travel all the way to Stirling to try and increase our team score, and he did very slightly to narrow the gap between us and Any Heroics heading into those last two GBH 100s, but we were not, unfortunately, able to recover the deficit back. So Any Heroics did win the teams league, whatever you want to call it, for the 2025 seasons. Very, very well done to them. They played super well, especially their last few months of the year. They came on really, really strong. And the awards and everything was on the stream. So if you want to see us all get our medals and things, it's all up there for you to go and watch. Which leaves us in second place for the second year in a row. We weren't able to complete the prophecy of coming third, then second, then first 3 years in a row. The growth, unfortunately.
Just remember, Dave Farmer was runner-up 3 times in a row for the league before he ended up winning it.
You see, perseverance is the way, right? So maybe next year we shall be back for sure. But yes, our second place. Then in third, we had one team to rule them all, the Soup team. But they played very, very well. Lots of great individual performances throughout the year. Obviously comes together for a third place there. So that's the podium. In fourth place, we have Team Knots, the Guardians. In fifth, the Bucky Berserkers, which, are they the Scottish team? Because Finley's part of them?
They're one of them, I think.
They're one of them. Okay.
Yeah,
or the best Scottish team, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. In sixth place, the Brohirim in seventh. Team Pigmar in eighth. Pigmar was up there.
Yeah, I was
the big boys earlier on, right? And surely Tom's score
Tom
helped,
winning
right?
at the end and moved the dial.
Oh my God. Well, they've been in the top 10. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
The Fellowship Steel in ninth and Team Atomic in 10th as well. And weren't they jostling with the Guardians as well earlier on in the year, I thought?
Yeah, there's quite a big gap that ended up appearing between them.
Yeah.
They often have a little kind of local rivalry because they're quite near each other along with Team Pigmar.
Yes.
I always say it's very satisfying that Team Atomic have done exactly 100 events. Across their team.
Now, actually, just looking there, Team Pigmar, I mean, guys, 131 events attended. That's some 2023 Gollum's Gamers stats right there. And coming 8th, I mean, you guys need to, take after Tom here. He's set the bar now, right? I think now Pigmar can rise to the challenge in 2026, hopefully. Hopefully we can as well. The challenge that Any Heroics have laid down before us to try and beat them. But obviously, they recruited the second and third best player from the 2024 season.
Yeah, they've also made another recruitment as well, and stuff like that. Moving it early in the transfer market, Stephen Denby.
Who did you get?
Luke Hilders.
Was that when he got cut?
Supposedly
you're saying
joining
2026.
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh! The team building continues. God, there's some leaked news there from Ali.
Well, I think what we need to do is convince Jay to start attending a few more events again.
Because Jay had some. Well, he did.
He did one.
He had a 100 score from us, which is obviously super good.
And then he didn't get the second. Ash seems to have remembered how to play the game.
So our captain, though, his score was not.
It's the pressure of the crowd.
Enough.
He couldn't handle it.
I know. Oh well, to be fair, when the pressure was on, his second score that was a 76, he improved to a 95, but it was too late in the year for that to actually improve the score at all. So he did end up with 2 good scores, but the second one didn't actually end up helping, unfortunately. So we ended up 5 points behind, which obviously isn't super close, but it was enough, I think, that if we had a win from if Ash won the finale or something, we would have jumped them.
Yeah,
so it was all to play for.
Without talking about ourselves too much, what actually happened at the final is because where John narrowly beat me and Ash then ended up playing each other.
Oh, yes.
And we had a really close draw, which essentially ruins the
so Ali
chance
fucked it, essentially.
So, whereas if I'd beaten John, Ash wouldn't have had to play me, and Ash obviously would have won every other game that he played, and then would have won the event.
Of course. See, but we're so noble. There's no rigging. There's no, gentleman's handshake, and they played it and they drew as you would do in a regular game.
Mine and Ash's ego won't let the other ones say that they beat them.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously they played super well. Denby and John especially. Obviously, Jakob and Farmer have been super good for many years now, but Denby and John Partridge really stepped up this year. So the better team did win in the 2025 season. But anyway, we shall put the team rankings aside. 2025 is done. I don't want to think about that anymore. 2026 is what we are all about now. I guess we should move on, though, to some news items. There is quite a lot of news this month. I guess we should start with the biggest news item, I would say. Actually, no, first of all, because we mentioned about the that Jack is on the committee now, so the rankings officer. I guess from December, there is a new GBHL committee now, which Ali is actually part of. He's the new media and publicity officer, I believe, is your official title. Yep. Anything that you want to say to the masses about your new post? I suppose from now on, I'm going to be, used as like a cog in the GBHL, propaganda wheel, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's it. Okay.
It's the sort of slow state takeover of the independent media.
Oh no.
No. Yeah, I mean, because we've only we haven't even had our first new committee meeting, so we'll probably hear more about stuff. But,
Ali's going to be coming in firing hot, because obviously the last time he was on the committee, he ran.
I was lead corner, yeah.
He's going to be coming in jostling here.
I've got ideas that I want to do and stuff like that, but until I kind of have that first committee meeting and the rest of the committee go it's probably a bit premature for me to sort of announce that. We're banning Elliot from GBHL events or something like that.
Am I really at the forefront of yes, anyway, best luck to everyone on the committee. But yes, probably the biggest thing in SBG news is that the MESBG rules writer, Jay Clare, is moving on from the Middle-earth strategy battle game team. He put a post up. This wasn't like a Warhammer thing or anything, but he just put a post on the GBHL Facebook page, obviously saying that he is moving on. I think he's still working at Games Workshop, but he's not going to be involved in the Middle-earth team anymore. So we're not sure who the new rules writer is going to be. Obviously, Jay has, had his imprint on the game for a very long time now, but it's moving into new hands. What does this mean? Where may things be going? I doubt so much in terms of content and all that sort of stuff that really much would change, as obviously that is outside of probably what Jay as rules writer would have too much input on, most likely.
I mean, in the short term, Jay would have a lot of the stuff would have already been worked on that we've seen in the next few years anyway. And having known Jay a bit and chat to him about article and that, I know he for a long time was kind of he's been doing this job for a while, and it's kind of it's one of those ones where it's sort of where do you go and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, what's
fresh
next?
Challenges as we all are after we've worked somewhere for a decade. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a slight reshuffling within the team. So maybe one of the other rules writers who was working on the other specialist games, maybe Blood Bowl or Old World, sort of is getting promoted to fulfill that role. So we don't really actually have any information on it. But
I wonder if there will be. I think maybe not, unless because I as in there wouldn't be an official post or something. I think because they do sometimes say in the Warhammer community articles, they say rules writer Jay said this. There might just be a rules writer Nick or someone said this.
Yeah,
so maybe that's how we find out.
Well, there hasn't been any advertisements for rules writers for Middle Earth. There have been one, I think, for Old World. So it may have been one of those ones where.
Fair. Into it,
into there, and then there's a vacancy that Jay's gone into, or Jay went into that role, and then someone's gone, or it could be that they'll advertise it in the new year. I imagine it will be if it wasn't already hired internally, or someone had moved across to be promoted to say the lead rules writer of Middle Earth, it probably would have been advertised. And whether they want to make themselves public or not, this is the internet. It's kind of Jay was obviously heavily involved in the community before he got the job. And it was Jay's choice actually to inform everyone he was moving on as well. So so it depends on the individual and whatever. Yes. But I don't think there's any reason to worry about anything.
No, I don't think so. But obviously, I guess there might be some sort of shift, potentially years down the line in kind of the way that certain things in the game are not presented, but the way
The
rules
first
were written.
major bit will actually be when we get the FAQ, because that will be whoever's
Yes, choices
vaguely in
based upon
charge.
who.
Like,
Yeah,
because it may be Jay was like, I want this rule to work this way. This new rules
Or someone
writer may
else
come
might-
in and
exactly.
be like, actually, I think it would be better this way. And so,
yeah.
in terms of rules manuals, they're probably already done. Like
Yeah,
that we're going to get in the
exactly, yeah.
short term.
But I guess I do hope then that whoever is coming on board has, because obviously Jay has a hell of a lot of experience working on Middle Earth within the community and all that sort of stuff. This new rules writer, is obviously taking on rules writing for the whole game. Things like the FAQ is really important. So you would hope that, they have the experience and stuff. But yeah, we shall see where things go with that. There was just one other thing I wanted to mention. We spoke in the GBHL finale preview when we spoke to Denby about the Hobby Premium events, which is coming into practice in 2026. In the interest of time, not to rehash that, we won't go into that. But if you want to check out his thoughts on that, you can go and see the finale preview. But there was one other thing in terms of GBHL news, which is quite interesting heading into 2026, is that in the teams rankings, there are going to be like the tiers in the teams ranking. So do you know how many teams are in a tier? I don't know. You're on the committee, Ali. Come on, you can't be. This is your chance to publicise the league.
It's the last committee that voted this through, although ironically it was my suggestion on a TO thing ages ago.
It's always his suggestion, folks.
Oh yeah. All the good ideas are mine, all the bad ideas are someone else's. But I don't know exactly. It may be from what I remember when we were briefly being discussed, it may be slightly voluntary whether people want to go in the top tier for year one anyway. Go in like the
because how do they do the tiers before they've been? Or did Denby say that they're doing it off of this year? I
think there'll be a bit of base off this year, but also it's kind of like if you want to go into a specific tier and stuff like that.
There might be a team that was 11th that wants to compete in the top 10 teams, where there's one in the top 10 that doesn't really care and would rather drop.
Yeah, and because where teams do change. To be fair, we'll probably have more information next month on stuff like that.
There we go.
Once
it was
the
announced,
rules have been fully published and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it was in the article. I thought it was in an article that Harry put.
What, Harry's article? My predecessor.
I may be mistaken. Anyway, but yes, that's a new thing that's coming, and it just obviously gives there will be prizes for if you're in like tier 3 or something. If you win tier 3, you get some sort of prize or something. So it gives everyone something to play for rather than only the podium spots. So, I think that's a very, very good change from the league. So there we go. Okay, well, we shall leave it there from News from the Mark, and we shall move on to the upcoming events for January. Now, there are going to be fewer GBHL 100s in the 2026 season, so there will be more of these kind of one-event GBHL months that are coming up. So January is the first of them, where we have Into the West, Ali's brothers event, Matt King, one of the longest running events in the GBHL, at 450 points with 7 games, which I'm going to this weekend, as is Ali. I think this is the first event in a very long time that all of the Gollum's gamers will be in attendance at, which is very exciting.
It's probably the first event since last year's Into the West.
I wasn't at last year's Into the West, so I was...
you were going to, though, weren't you?
Yes, but I wasn't there, so...
that's why it's so good.
It's been quite a long time, there we go. And then, kind of the unique thing about this event is that there are secret missions, but each mission that you complete is worth 1 TP. So completing them is very, very important to keep track of them and everything throughout your 7 games, because there's up to 7 TPs, which obviously by the end of the event is going to be... So it's a win is 5 TPs, so it's like an extra win and a bit more if you complete all 7. So they're very, very important to try and complete. But this list that we're looking at here is a list that Sam, Ash, and James are all taken to Into the West. Now, I guess I can announce this here on the pod. We haven't actually talked about this yet. But yeah, Sam, Ash, and James this year in 2026 to try and spice things up when they're all going to events together. They're all going to be taking the same list to try and obviously compete, see who can do the best with it. So that's what they're doing for the whole of 2026. And their first list they're taking is the Fields of Kellebrand. So 449 points, 12 models, is led by Earl with 9 Sons of Earl and a Rider of Rohan with Banner. And then they have a King of Men from Gondor with Horse, Heavy Armour, Lance, and Shield. So Ali, you like a little Son of Earl the Young.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this? Lots of buffs this edition.
Yeah, so just for those who don't know, because it is a legacy list. It's the army bonus is of it is +1 to your courage and intelligence test if they're within range of Earl and the King of the Men, and once per game, basically if you all cavalry models can who can charge have to charge, and then they get to reroll fail to wounds, and Gundam models get to reroll ones when within range of an objective marker. So pretty like solid army bonuses. But the main source, which is pretty much in this version of List the only source, is the Son of Earl, which is a strength 4 D6 2 attack cavalry model who also gets to go up to fight value 5 when they are within 6 of the Earl the Young. So they are a full-on heavy cavalry unit. They also actually have armored horses as well, so stand strength 2 bows struggle a bit more to take them out. But yeah, so you charge in, especially on the turn when you reroll wounds, you go, I'm fight 5, I've got 3 attacks.
I'm rerolling everything to wound at strength 4.
You've got the balance, yeah, so it will hit like a freight train and it will delete anything it comes into contact with, as long as they're not fight 5 and they still have their horses.
Yes. So that is the idea. I mean, and I know there was a lot of theory crafting and stuff into like the types of things that you might see at low points, and they were trying to think of something specifically that would go into those lists, that could do well. Now, obviously, one thing to note about Into the West is that there's no eagles. Eagles have been banned.
Well,
not eagles quite specifically, no, but yes, there has been a minimum model count of 5 models for the event, which in theory bans eagles. You can call it what you want, but
it bans Guahir's eagles. It doesn't ban Radagast Alliance eagles.
No,
because of where Raddy and the eagle count as 2 separate models for this purpose.
Super oppressive thing where you
just before someone sees an eagle army turn up and goes, "Wait a minute."
But no, it isn't that eagles are inherently super overpowered. It's that the eagles list, and I think it's a separate conversation over how overpowered that actually is, the Screech rule, but that's not the conversation.
At low points, it's disproportionate, like monster lists, and especially the Eagles were last year. So it was a thing a lot of people were asking for.
But I do think, just on that, I do think that last year, obviously, especially early in 2025, it was the new edition. People didn't have a year of playing into monsters and things and kind of trying to work out how to deal with them. So I think maybe that's somewhat to blame for how well they did at the start of the edition. So
So just going through back onto the physical element. I say, like, if they lose their horse, they lose power. Actually, there's still 2 attacks. Potentially fight 5.
As I discovered when I played you, because I made the choice to kill all the horses, because that was my game plan going into that game.
This was last edition as well, when they weren't as good.
No, and then I couldn't kill the guys on fur. I was like, oh, fuck's sakes.
But they'll struggle potentially if they come up against armies with strength 3 bow shooting in the wrong scenario where they can just camp in the wood
for a long time.
There's also a potential issue that they may have in that one of the more popular armies is like to be usurpers of Edoras, who get hatred of Rohan. And so anytime you do fluff a dice, it would probably more than likely mean you do have a dead Son of Earl in the hand, and you don't have the model count to absorb it, whereas an army like Usurpers has got plenty of models, so you do need to sort of actually be winning all of those fights.
And I think, like, on the high model count list that it could face, like I was there for some of the theory crafting and things on this list, and the idea is like, on that turn you charge in and you call the special where you reroll everything, like there's a world where you kill like 25 plus models, and it's like, sure, that could happen, but it also might not happen, and then you lose some move offs, and then
issue of theory crafting is in that world you're like, everyone is getting engaged with exactly 2 models, and there's no shit going on, and it's like that's just not really how games work out, especially
pan out with terrain and things.
It may also. So I think the biggest problem is it's going to struggle with a lot of the most popular lists. Like, it could generally go through and smash an event and get 6 and 1. It could also, and I think more likely, go 4 and 3. because of scenarios and stuff.
You just get a bad scenario or something. Yeah,
like Uglut Scouts are going to be popular. They're quick moving and they've got strength 3 bows. Usurpers will be popular. As I've mentioned, they've got the Hatred Rohan and the model count. Lurtz's Scouts will probably actually be popular, which again, strength 3 bows and fast, and they can just go sit in a wood and then you lose a lot of your advantage. And then even something like, not to bring it up again, but Depths of Moria. Like,
oh no!
When one goblin like can get like those 3 dice to match you if he's got a shield, for 5 points. But yeah, it's a glass cannon. At higher points, this list is a hammer and anvil, but this is now the hammer without the anvil.
Which... you are hoping you run in and kill everything, and then don't lose some move offs. Otherwise, you're probably going to die.
And the only last thing. I was going to mention secret missions.
Yes, of course. Yes,
I don't know how good or bad this will be at secret missions.
Will it have enough models to maybe complete some of them and, get set on the board or, depending. There are some secret missions that, like, you just can't complete, like, cast a magical power or something, or, like, resist a magical power. And if, obviously, you're playing someone who doesn't have magic, you might only be left with some at the end of the event that, like, you can't complete. At least that's how it was. It's been 3 years, actually, since I've been to Into the West. I don't know if they've changed very much since then. I'm not too sure.
There's more. So generally there always is one that you can do.
Oh, that you can complete. Okay.
But the ability for this army to do secret missions, because you've got such small model count, you kind of just need to focus on the scenario itself.
Yeah, because you don't have the extra models to just go and do something. Yeah. And then also just one thing to mention is that Earl is actually quite a bit better. Is it only Fight 6 he's gone up to? Or was he only 2 attacks last edition or 1 fate?
He was always pretty solid profile.
I thought he had something else go up as well.
No, he's become a hero.
A hero of what, sorry?
No, he's become an actual hero of legend.
Oh,
he's become a hero of legend, whereas last edition he was only a hero of valor despite being a legendary hero.
I see.
No, he's pretty much exactly the same otherwise. He's always been 3 might, 2 will, 2 fate.
Yeah, 12-inch moving horse. Okay, fair enough. But he's Fight 6 now, which obviously, and you could see it where maybe he's one of the heroes that they wouldn't bump up, I think, but maybe it would just make this list like really not that good with his changes to strike and things. But getting that Fight 6 boost for your leader is really, really good. And is the King of Men in this? Sorry, is that the 3 might one?
Yeah, it's the Gondor one, so it's a 3 might. So the King of Men's gotten better.
With strike as well.
So you got 2 Fight 6 strike heroes, which does help if you do run into like some monsters like Treebeards or the like. But yeah, no, it's basically a very good hammer, as mentioned.
Hammer. Yeah. There we go. So we'll be interested to see how the 3 boys
who are you betting is going to do the best
over the? Oh God, am I gonna? Is it finally the year of the Goble? Is it time? I mean, maybe people have been saying that for a minute though, and it hasn't been. But James,
this may motivate him to
maybe so. The public
stop taking stupid
boost.
Lists.
Yes, maybe. But obviously now they're all taking the same list. We can really gauge who is the best gamer. So I don't know. Maybe the captain, our new. Wait, no, you're our new captain. We thought it was going to be Sam. You're our new captain.
Why did we think it was going to be Sam?
Well, because Sam did get into the top 10 before you, but then, I think there was a point where we thought it was going to be Sam, but then, anyway. Ali is our new commander-in-chief. And he's on the committee. Jesus Christ, we're really being taken over here.
I've got too much power.
Anyway, Jesus Christ. 2022 flashbacks here. Okay, we shall leave it there and we shall move on to the one profile. It's Christmas time. Who better to close out, well, it's now the new year,
until the 6th of January, it's Christmas.
This episode. Okay, fair enough. Well, then Santa Helm fits in perfectly here. The Santa Helm Hammerhand, Wraith of the Hornburg here. Profile, which we thought we would talk about today, as obviously lots of these War of the Rohirrim stuff we don't actually get to talk too much about, as they're not actually like the best sort of lists. Lots of them, obviously Usurpers has had some bright spots this year, but none of the Rohan stuff we've really talked about too much, so we thought we'd talk about it here. I guess I'll kick off with his stat line, Ali. So first of all, he is move 6, which makes sense as he's on foot. He's fight 7, 5+ shoot value, but I don't think he has anything. He doesn't have a throwing weapon or anything. He's strength 6, D5 is obviously he doesn't have any armor. He's like, I haven't seen War of the Row here, in which lots of our viewers remind me regularly, but I assume it's because he has no armor on and he's going berserk mode at this point in the film, I think. So he's only D5. That's fair enough. He's 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 3, and intelligence 5. So it makes sense he's maybe not that intelligent because he's sort of raging at that point in time. So fair enough. He's 180 points, is worth mentioning. Sorry, and he is 3 might, 3 will, and 1 fate. He has light armor. He's only D5, and the Horn of Hammerhand. So it's a unique war horn, and once per game, it's a 24-inch -1 courage until the end of the turn. So that's something nice to whip out the bag. He has heroic challenge, heroic strength, and heroic strike. And Ali, I shall hand over to you here to round out the rest of the profile.
This implies I was keeping track of where you were. So we did the
special
horn.
rules. The
He's
special
got
rules.
burly,
There we go.
which in this list just means he can carry a heavy object without any issue and doesn't get -1 for being unarmed.
Because he doesn't have a weapon.
Yeah.
Because he has his fists, of course.
He's dominant 4, which is pretty good, especially for a man-sized model. Fearless, so he ain't going to be running away, and he'll be charging headfirst into those trolls. Spoilers, Elliot. Hatred Dunland. So, I mean, there aren't loads of Dunland models that I don't think Strength 6 would deal with anyway, but you get +1 to wound against them if you need to. Along with Mighty Blow. So that combined with his Fight 7 and Heroic Strike and Strength 6 does actually make him a very scary threat for most enemy heroes, where he can probably kill a lot of them in one round of combat, even without the knocked ground.
One bang.
Anthony
Joshua of SBG. You know, he's holding up his gloves there, you know, in the artwork. You know, have they based the model off of like a particular point in the films? Like, does he literally do that? Oh, okay.
Fair
enough.
One of the downsides though is he's not a leader, so he can't be a general, and his stand thrust and heroic actions do not affect friendly models, which is annoying in the list that he features in, which is Defense of the Hornburg.
See, why not just make like take that rule away, and that list still isn't that good.
I still think the list is good. It's just a bit boring.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? It's like why just make it worse? Like,
I mean, it makes sense in the film because he's not leading people at that point.
Oh, right.
I mean, if you'd watched it, you know, comment below if Elliot should watch the film.
Fuck.
And then he's got Berserk Rage, which means he must always charge a fable to do so. But he also will get Terror if he does charge in that turn, and he may declare a free heroic combat without spending a point of might. So that's pretty good and handy. But so his profile overall, pretty good, pretty solid. You'd kind of like something a bit more resilient about him. He gets the light armor, so he is D6 against shooting, so shooting shouldn't pick him off. But only 1 fate and D5 in combat with 3 attacks, you are sort of likely to get wounded and go down.
But I'm fine. I'm sort of fine
luck.
With like, sort of a bit of a glass cannon, okay, but like, you know, the things that are going to go into him that could kill him, like they're probably pretty afraid to go into him potentially as well. So I guess it's more like, you know, leader VPs and stuff.
It's more just like
he's quite susceptible,
being surrounded by 3 troops and rolling badly for 1 turn can actually just spike luck and
with only 3 attacks.
But I mean, if you just show me that profile, that's fine. How many points do you think that profile should be? Obviously, we know, but
God, not like
because to me that's 130 points, 140 maybe. At 180, it just is a killer. Like he can die too easily being 180 points.
People were hating on Durin last edition for 170 or something. Yeah, even during last edition was way better than this.
Yeah, when you compare like his points like his points level to other heroes you get at those points. You're getting like Boromir with like Captain of the White Tower, and like you're getting oh, this is like mind blank on nearly all the other big heroes in the game, but like
something really good. Durin, there we go.
Yeah.
But like I think maybe you make him right if he's meant to be this like raging and insane. Give him 4 attacks. Is he that insane with 4 attacks?
So I think give him 4 attacks. If you want him 108.4 attacks, and also like a 5+ ignore wound.
Sure.
Saves,
5
because
up.
he just shrugs off wounds and stuff like that.
Because I just like, especially where like he's this cool new model, and they have with the new edition, like they're only including in certain lists. So you have to play this one list, Defenders of the Hornburg, if you want to take this model. But you can take this list without this model in it, and it's better almost every single time. So like, there's just no reason to run this model, and he's meant to be like the cool hero, or obviously there's the main Ham model that's mounted, but
So I remember at the start of the edition, because I'm talking about Defenders of Hornburg, and I think it generally is a very solid list. Because it's got the dominant 2 and all of that stuff. And what it misses in this list is Helm. So he should fit perfectly into this list, but he is so many points and such a glass cannon.
Can't afford to take him. And like you could take him with Hera. Like Hera is a super good profile. Like you'd love to see a Rohan like infantry list kind of have some legs. This is the one with the dominant but it's the troops are very weak, which is like the downfall of it and stuff. But they have the dominant 2. But adding in kind of like a really punchy hero leader here like Helm would be super good, but you just can't really justify it.
Doesn't mean he's completely useless, but you're kind of acknowledging if you're taking him, you're playing. It feels like 40 points down against, especially once you get to the top level of lists.
And I mean, with these cheap Warriors of Rohan, that's a lot of models that you're dropping. It's quite a big dent in the list. And like, are you then taking him and Hera? I think you're
well, you have to. I mean, you kind of want to take Hera. Like it's saying, like anything less than 900 points, I'm struggling to put Helm in.
You see what I mean? With Hera as well. But if you're not taking Hera and you're taking Helm at lower points, then you're having someone else be your leader. What? Olwyn? Like that's not a thing. So I don't know.
One thing. I mean, I say it's worth mentioning. I don't know whether it is, but in the army list specials is if Helm has killed a hero or a monster, enemy models within 3 inches of Helm must take a courage test or basically run away from him. So that. I mean, it's a very niche situation.
It's only if you kill a hero monster. Why not just have it be at the end of every turn he can do that or something? Or if he kills a model or something.
I would have liked if he just got flat 3 heroic combats as well.
There's just lots of changes that they could do. I think there's quite a few profiles in this edition that kind of fall into that bucket. That like a couple changes and they'd be.
I think for me this is the biggest letdown though, one because he's such a like, as you know from watching the film, iconic moment and sort of profile that like I feel like it's one of those models everyone would have wanted to use.
I bought it. It's in that fucking cupboard right there, and I bought Hera and. I've painted loads of Rohan infantry. I was ready for the Defense of the North effect on MESBG for this new edition where all of the new stuff was going to be really OP, like we had AOL and the Dragon Emperor and things. I was ready. I bought the models and they're just not kind of
actually summarizes Rohan this edition is that like they have so many lists and all of them just have one thing that's kind of stopping them like working, whether it's Royal Guard on foot being a bit too expensive or the warband like limitations or Helm in this list
throwing
just too many points. It's like Rohan, like nearly all of their lists with one or two tweaks would suddenly be like class.
See, everyone, but I guess everyone does complain like, there's way too much Rohan stuff like in the game, or like it's, given too much favor by GW.
But there's not if you go to events. I think the only Rohan feature list you regularly see at events, I'm talking sort of GWHL 100s. Here is Defenders of Helm's Deep, which is basically half.
But like there was Rise of Thaden obviously last edition, but like I guess you don't really see it.
Oh
too much
yeah, in this
spoilers,
edition, I mean, like considering
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is the War of the Rohirrim edition, you
yeah,
don't see much
exactly.
Rohirrim.
And it was the first supplement that came out, so I don't know. Hopefully, maybe with the new FAQ, the new rules writer, maybe those buffs that we're looking for are going to come. Maybe Santa Helm will be seen on a upcoming MSBG monthly. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, well, I think that's going to close us out. Any closing thoughts, Ali, for 2026 from the Gollum's Gamers, from the GBHL committee?
Just
Another year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that it?
Yeah.
Nothing SBG related. Sure. I mean, yeah, we're doing MSBG monthly every month. So for all your GBHL MSBG news, it's here on the Gollum's Gamers. Always. That's it. Okay, so it's going to close out. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode of MSBG monthly here from the Gollum's Gamers.